Thanks for listening to the NVTV Podcast, produced by Neuqua Media.
Welcome to this episode of the NVTV Podcast. I'm Andy Chan. On today's show, we'll take a look at the color guard on the Neuqua's marching band and what they do to put on the performance. Joining me today are Jessica, Adelina, and Olivia, the three captains of the color guard. Thank y'all for being here today. All right, so I want to start off real quick. All three of you, give a brief introduction about yourselves and how long you've been in color guard.
So I'm Adelina. I'm a senior this year. This is my first year as captain. I've been doing Neuqua guard for all 4 years, and then I've done 2 years of winter guard, and I'm going into my third season.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm the senior. This is my 4th year in Neuqua guard, my first year as a captain, and I've done 2 years of winter guard.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm also a senior. I joined color guard at Neuqua my sophomore year, so this is my 3rd year actually doing color guard, and I haven't done any guard outside of Neuqua. And it's my first year of captain.
Nice. All right. So I want to know, first of all, what exactly is the color guard? It's not something that I don't really know the specifics of it. So what role does the guard play in the marching band? What do you guys do?
We enhance. There's a whole grading system when it comes to a marching band, but I think color guard specifically caters more towards the visual effects and visual arts of that. So that includes things like dance technique and then flag technique and weapons. And weapons includes rifles and sabers.
Rifles and sabers,
they're
real?
not. No, they're not real. They're not.
Right.
The rifles are just literally blocks of wood that are carved into the shape of a rifle. Sometimes they put a metal pole on the inside so that they don't crack. And then a saber, it looks like a fencing sword, and then you can add padding to make it more gentle when you're spinning it, but typically you just wrap it up in white tape.
Yeah, so it's just for show, right?
Yeah.
All right. I see it now. So I know you guys I've seen you guys always spinning your flags in the air. Are there any techniques to variations of spins you would do or things you would learn to do?
So typically for technique wise, we have basics that we do. So specifically at Neuqua guard, we have drop spins, cones, and then singles and doubles tosses. Though that's a flat line list of things that you should know coming into it. And then there's many different variations of drop spins, peggy spins and things like that. And then along with that, for tosses, there's a lot of different ways to get into the tosses, but the way that you categorize a toss is the angle that it spins at and then how many rotations you get out of it.
All right. So I know this is an audio only show, but could you guys describe one spin you would do? Describe what you would do. I want to kind of get an idea in my head about it.
There's a 45 where you would hold it on the right side of your body at a 45-degree angle, and then you push it so it will go, your left hand will go behind your head and release it on top of your head, and it will spin in a 45-degree angle one time where the flag will go around, and then you'll catch it on the other side of your body.
All right, that's crazy. That begs a question. I don't know if it sounds weird. Do you guys ever get injured? Have you guys ever been injured?
Yes, we definitely
100%.
have.
All you guys have a story?
Yeah, let's let Olivia start with that one.
For my winter guard, just a few weeks ago, I have a concussion from doing a double 45 with a bunch of prep.
God.
Yeah, we get hit very, very, very often, but one of the most, memorable times where I got hit was, or actually there was 2 times, okay? The first one was last year at U of I, because we go down to U of I as a competition. We compete against the other Illinois bands, and that's typically at the end of the season. but last year when we went to U of I, we were practicing, and I had to throw a parallel with my rifle. A parallel is basically like where it spins in like a parallel
Like a
plane.
horizontal
Yeah,
plane.
in a horizontal plane in the air directly above your head. And so I tossed my parallel, and it hit me in the nose, and I started bleeding from my nose.
Like
Yeah,
nostril, like from the nostrils or like the outside?
No. I had like a nosebleed.
Oh.
Yeah, and that took like a week to heal, or like 2 weeks, I think. But yeah, that area was bruised. And another time was I was practicing a 45 in my backyard, like what Olivia said, a 45. And I did it with like super bad technique, and it like bounced off the top of my head. It was not fun.
Wait, I remember seeing that video.
Yeah, on my Instagram.
One time I was doing a clinic for Allegiance, and I was trying to get a quad out on my rifle, and for some reason I just didn't catch it. And it came slamming down right on my toe. And typically when you're on the tarps that we spin on for winter season, you either have only socks on or you have you're barefoot. So I didn't have any shoes on. And later I came to find out that I broke my big toe, which kind of sucked, but I didn't know that until way later. So I was still like running around and stuff, and my toe has never been the same. Let's just say that.
Wait,
Yeah.
like
To this day, it's still badly bruised, and that was
how
so many
long
months
was that
ago.
again?
Huh?
How long was that again?
It was so many months ago.
Bro, so
Yeah.
you like didn't feel it, right?
No, at first, usually I thought I would just be able to walk it off, but then I like literally had to sit down for a second, and then I was limping after that. But
Oh.
you just gotta tough it out.
Then you have
There was another time we did this toss. It was like it was on a vertical plane, but it was on the side of your body. It was just like really weird in general. And it was as it was coming down, I was going to catch it, and then the pole just literally landed right on my face. And it was literally right before a competition. And my lip was busted, my mouth was bleeding, and my lip swelled up so big. I literally looked like I got like bad injections. It was so embarrassing.
So like, wow, that's some pretty rough
Yeah.
stories. None of you guys have been to the hospital for it though, right?
Well,
Oh, all right. Oh wait,
Olivia
wait.
has
The concussion?
Concussion.
Forgot.
yeah.
All right, so only one of you guys have been to the hospital for it, right?
Yeah.
I
I
think-
mean, last year's captain, she was trying to do a turnaround under a 5 on rifle, which is basically you push it out so that you get 5 rotations, and then you spin underneath it. And it ended up hitting her right on her head. And she needed to go to the ER and get like 4 stitches in her forehead.
But like, all these stories, but like, is color guard really that dangerous? Like, is this a constant risk of injury you face like every single hour, or is like you're generally safe?
It's not any more dangerous than like cheer or gymnastics would be. It's kind of like everything kind of has a risk to it, but it's like as long as you really know what you're doing, you're not as much at risk.
Yeah.
You're like the
Alright.
most thing people tend, like we have like, dramatic stories, but most thing you really get is a bump on the head or a bruise. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
All right. So like, basically any other like sport, right?
Yeah,
see.
In all sports in general, there's always a risk factor, but it's just like the passion and drive to do well in something that you care about is what like keeps us going every day.
See, so moving on, for in terms of like all your rehearsals that you do, I want to know like the schedule you guys have every week and like how you go and what you have to do in order to put on a show.
So, marching band is very time consuming. Let's just say like if you were to do any other club or sport, you could do, I guess, like another club or sport with it if you wanted to, right? But marching band, it's like if you sign up for marching band, you're pretty much always at rehearsal, let's say. Like we have this thing called Fundies Camp where it's like a 3-day camp in the beginning of June. And that kind of like is the start of the season kind of. That's when like the band gets their music so that they can practice it over the summer. And that's when the guard kind of like gets to know each other, and we kind of like practice a few things like school song and like battle hymn, just like very basic techniques. And when marching band actually starts is when August rolls around. So marching band starts in the beginning of August, and it goes all the way until the end of October. And in between August and October, it's filled with, so pretty much August before school starts, it's packed with 8-hour rehearsals. We're at school for 8 hours every single day, pretty much, except for some of the weekends. But there is a week in there where we go to a camp called Monticello, where we stay overnight, and we pretty much practice for like 3 days straight, and then we come home. And then it's 8-hour rehearsals. But once school starts, it kind of dies down to 2-hour rehearsals after school. So for the guard specifically, we have this thing called like 4 to 6 rehearsals because our coaches are elementary school teachers. So on Mondays and Thursdays, we start later than the band because the band has rehearsal from 2:45 to 4:45, where we would just start at 4 and end at 6. And that goes all the way up till the season ends.
All right. Well, yeah, I hear. So you guys go to Monticello in August. I hear a lot of things from people about how very natural it is. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But like, is it as bad as I hear a lot of people say it is?
I think yes, it is definitely as bad as people say it is. Like, obviously, it's really I understand why we go because we genuinely get so much done there, whether it's like learning work or learning drill. That's like we cram everything in that point so that later in the season, because competitions come up pretty quickly, so we cram everything so that later in the season, all we have to do is clean. But so that part is not that bad, like actually practicing. But I think we're literally like in the middle of the woods and there's like a random big old pond. So the environment is definitely there and it's definitely a factor when we're in our cabins and things like that.
Yeah, no AC, by the way. It's just all natural.
No, it's like a big raggedy fan.
Yeah.
All
I
the
see.
bathrooms are outdoors. The cabins can hold up to 6 people, but they're pretty small. The grass is pretty well maintained, but there's like groundhogs and moles and things like that that go under the field. So like they'll be actively underground while we're like marching around. And then sometimes if you step on one of the holes, you'll like fall in. So that's
Fall in.
kind of,
Wait, fall in.
yeah, like you might stumble and trip a little. It's not perfect, but you know,
So it's like
we can't kick the nature out.
it's like high school boot camp for marching
Yeah,
band, right?
there's also a bunch of like bugs that are
Yeah.
unknown to Napervillians.
Yup.
Hey, pavilions.
Yup.
Yeah.
Sweat
And
bees.
yeah, sweat bees. And the population of sweat bees in Naperville has been going up, and I guarantee you it's because of Monticello. Like, they get trapped in the bus, and then they come home with us.
We bring them with us. We're sorry.
There's also, like, the pond, there's, like, a fake beach. I do not recommend ever swimming in it because it smells so bad, and all the fish are dead.
Yeah, it's like,
Wow.
it's green, and
It's
all the fish are
terrible.
like
Green.
washed up.
It's really bad.
Yep.
All right. But so yeah, I mean, oh no, it's still like right. It still toughens you up for a marching band,
Yeah.
right? During the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also very hot.
Yeah.
I could figure. It's like what? It's middle of August, right?
No, the beginning of
Oh,
August.
the beginning of August. Still hot. It's hot all throughout the whole
Yeah.
month, anyways. But so yeah, it's still a valuable experience, right? Going
Yeah.
to Monticello.
It also is like a lot of fun. Like there's like a dance where people can either, if you don't want to even dance, there's places where you can go be quiet and still just hang out with people, and it kind of just strengthens you with your friends and like hanging out with the band in general.
And then we also do the bonfire, the senior bonfire, where it's like one night and everybody goes. We go across the lake into like a little patch of grass, and they let up this big bonfire, and all of the seniors have an opportunity, whether they want to or not, to they get to choose if they want to or to not say a speech in front of the whole band and just talk about like what it means to them.
You guys are all seniors, so did you guys give a speech?
Oh,
I gave a speech. Yeah, me and Danielle were the only ones in guard that gave a speech, but it's just like really pretty because the moon is like so visible and all the stars are super visible in Monticello. It's like it's a lot different than it is in Naperville because Monticello is just like all nature and the stars are like super 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 visible. so it's just really pretty.
Actually, yeah, something I've always wanted to do is like, yeah, be able to see all the stars like in this universe. But back to the bonfires. Do you guys cook s'mores?
No.
Like,
That would be really nice if we could, but there's a lot of people in bands, so I feel like that'd be pretty messy.
would you be allowed to bring marshmallows like with your? Oh,
Yeah, definitely not.
Also, like a bug would probably
Yeah,
land on
and
it.
spiders.
Yeah.
I mean, giving back to nature, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't get to what?
We do get cookies at the end half the time.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah, they give us dessert after every meal.
Yeah.
It's nice. So after all this, after your time on the show, and all your time, the past couple years in marching band, what skills do you think you've learned or gained from being in the color guard?
I think that with everything combined, we learn a lot of marching technique, which is like just the way that your legs and feet should move and your body, how your body should look. And then aside from that, with guards specifically, I think a lot of, so for example, our school song, that routine has stayed the same, like basically forever. And I think that routine has a lot of basics in it, like a flourish, which is where you just like swing it around by your side, drop spins, cones, and things like that. And honestly, just going back to the basics and technique really, really helps people improve, and setting up a good foundation for like harder things to do in the future. And I see like even in the freshmen that we have right now, we're like over halfway into the season and they've all improved so much. I think there's always a lot to learn, and we have some pretty difficult tosses in there that I wasn't expecting the coaches to put. They have to do a 45 going backwards, which I think is pretty crazy. And then we have a single-handed parallel starting from the back, which is also pretty difficult. But everybody's like been able to execute it mostly well, especially for the time that they've been given to practice it and things like that.
Nice. So you guys, I know you guys do a lot of competitions. You guys play like our home games, right? And whatever else I'm forgetting right now. So what is like all the competitions and games you play at throughout the school year?
We only really perform at home games, and we have 2 competitions, right? We have a Naperville Central competition this Saturday, and we have U of I that we go to, and those are like an all-day long thing. We get to go there, practice, and then perform, and then we get to watch other bands perform, and kind of by watching them, we got to improve our skills by seeing what they're doing and kind of learning from it.
Sorry. We also have this thing called District 204 Fest, where I think it's like a newer thing that they've implemented.
Wait, I know you guys go to, I think you guys do Memorial Day, right?
Oh yeah, we also do parades. We do parades. We do Memorial Day and Labor Day, where we basically just like march around downtown Naperville,
Right.
and it's pretty fun.
Do a variation of school song every time.
Yeah, it's like different music, but we're just doing like the same work.
All right.
We also do 8th grade night, so like the incoming freshmen can see like if they want to join marching band. And then we also have an indoor concert, which is like our last hurrah, performing the music and then all the work for the show.
There also has been a case of, they do it every few years, where they went to Disneyland and did a parade there.
every 4 years.
Every 4 years. You guys caught it?
I went my freshman year. It's called a Florida trip.
All right. Oh, wait.
Or maybe it might have been sophomore year, actually, yeah. Sophomore
Alright.
year.
You say like the season ends like late October, and then like you guys get back for Memorial Day. So like you guys like reband for the Memorial Day parade.
Yeah.
Right. Like you just get the band back together again.
Yeah.
Usually like a few days before the parade, after school, they'll have us stay for rehearsals, and then the band will get the music, I think like at least a week before that, so that they can have it memorized.
All right.
That's basically like our last time performing together as like
Yeah.
the band.
Especially for the seniors.
Yeah, it's really cool since the seniors like already graduate by that time and still come back to join us.
Like, yeah, it's a very special moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
bit of an odd question. I'm gonna shift topics very drastically. Is color guard a girls only sport or
No.
thing?
Absolutely not. Yeah, no.
I know. I looked on looking on like social media. I see like I only ever see girls on the color guard.
For Neuqua guard specifically, there has been guys in the past, but within my 4 years of being here, no guys have signed up. But by no means is it male only. And if you look into like the DCI world, which is drum corps, like over the summer, there's even one group called the Cavaliers, and they are male only for anybody playing any instruments and anybody spinning in guard.
Alright. So
Which is
like
pretty cool.
So like a person. So yeah. So a guy, a girl, anyone can join color guard, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I can't use myself as an example. I'm not gonna be here, but so every year I see the marching band has new themes that it goes by for like their seasons. Forgot what this year's theme was.
Rhapsody in Blue.
Rhapsody in Blue. And the last year I also don't remember.
Legends of
Legends
Rock.
of Rock.
All right.
yeah.
How did those themes get decided? But then also like once they are decided, how do you guys? I see you guys like sort of dress for it. Or, like I see it on like the flags you carry, or how do the themes get chosen, and then like what do you have to do for them?
So the band directors, they all like I guess come together and they start like brainstorming what next year's theme is. Like even in the season now, they're probably thinking about what next year's theme is. It's like a very selective process, I guess, and like they put a lot of like thought into it. And Greg Schwegler, the orchestra teacher, he basically composes all of the music for the band, and he pretty much gets that done like around fundies, when fundies start, which is like early June, and then he like passes out the music for the band so that they can start like practicing. Well, if you choose to be in Festival Corp, we also have Spirit Corp, which is only available for band members, not available for color guard. If you're in color guard, you're gonna have to be in Festival Corp. So what that means is if you're in Spirit Corps, you're only gonna march in pregame, and you're just gonna sit out during halftime. But if you're in Festival Corp, you're gonna do pregame and halftime.
Spirit Corps also does parades.
Yeah.
And I think a long time ago, back when one of our coaches went to Neuqua, they actually did have Spirit Corps as an option for guard, but our numbers have kind of gone down since then, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but that just means we have more people who are like more committed to the full experience.
All right. And like selecting the theme, is it just the directors that decide it, or do
Yeah.
you guys don't have like
Yeah,
a
students
No,
have
we don't have
no
a say.
say in any of it. And then like regarding like dressing up for the themes, so for guard specifically, they choose different ideas for costumes, and then they have to get it. They have to run it by Miss Binder, which is the band director, and then get it approved. And then same thing goes for what hairstyle we do, and then what makeup we do. And then same thing for flags and flag colors and things like that.
All right. So this season Rhapsody in Blue, right?
Yep.
What is it? I forgot what your flags look like. All the stuff you have for
Pretty
this
much
theme.
all blue.
Yeah,
All blue.
Yeah.
I guess
Part
it's in the
3
name.
flags have like an orange kind of goldish color.
Yeah. So in part 3, we split in rifle and flag, and like Olivia said, they're like kind of like a copper shiny tone for all the people who aren't doing rifle. And then part 4 are swing flags. They're like half the size of a regular pole, which is about 6 feet. And then they have like the silk takes up basically the whole pole, and you just have like a little handle to hold on to, and those are like an ombre of blue. And then our part 5 flags have like a little bit of silver in them, and they're a different shape. They're not like just rectangular.
So, Mr. Oliver, he's one of the band directors. He writes drill, and drill is basically like how we're placed on the field, because like we all have dots, like basically meaning like everyone is a dot on the field, and we kind of make formations, as you may see. Like you watch us march, like we have like different sets to like get to our formations, like when to like hit our formations, etc. And for this year, he wanted to write the show like according to Rhapsody in Blue, because it was like it's kind of like New York, I guess. So
Very
part
jazzy.
part 1 is basically like the morning of New York, like everyone's like waking up and stuff. Part 2 is when you're going to work. So like in our drill, it's kind of like a traffic jam. It's where I have a solo, but I'm like in the middle of the field, and I'm like kind of like the traffic police. I'm like conducting traffic, conducting the band, like where to go. And part 3 is kind of just like going to work and then also like getting off of work. There's like a part in part 3 where like everyone's just so like joyful, like the music is joyful, the guard work is joyful, because that's like kind of where we get off of work and it's like a party. Part 4 is kind of just like settling down, kind of like it's getting like dimmer, kind of like symbolized by our flags, like the ombre. It's from like it's kind of like a lighter blue to like a darker blue. And part 5 is kind of just like settling down. It's the end of the day, everyone's going to sleep.
I kind of lost track listening to that. I'm not sure. I can't imagine how you guys would remember that on the field.
Well, it's helpful, especially like within these past 2 years. The band has paid for a subscription to an app called UDB, which stands for Ultimate Drill Book. In the past, we used to handwrite all of our drill into note cards, which was really messy because the paper would always fly around the field, and it was just such a mess. But now we can access all of our drill, other people's drill, the music, and so much more just through our phones.
We have like over 100 pages of drill.
Yeah.
Over 100.
And like Olivia, or like how Jessica was saying that we all like make shapes on the field. Some of the shapes that we make, we call like the sunset set, because it's like, oh, it's morning time. And then also we have another one where it's like the sun's going down. And then at the very end of the show, we make a piano shape, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, very creative. So that sounds, no matter how you guys say it sounds like very complicated like drill for a person like me to mentally grasp. But I mean, everyone like marching band is like having to follow that, right? But
yeah, it's all about personal responsibility.
Well, would you say, personal opinion, would you say that you guys have the hardest job in the marching band?
I feel like in terms of like physically, yes, because the band is kind of just like, well, obviously it's going to be hard for them as well, because they're going to have to like regulate how they're breathing and how they're like breathing into their instrument, like playing their instrument while they're walking. But for us, it's kind of like we have to like dance while we're walking. We have to like spin while we're walking. We have to like watch out for other band members, try not to hit them while we're walking. And some of the work that the coaches write, like the choreography that the coaches write for us, it sometimes has to be adjusted according to how we move on the field. Sometimes like we have to like dance to our sets. Sometimes we don't do the footwork that the coaches write for us because it just wouldn't work out, stuff like that.
We also we are the performance part of it, because since the band is playing, we can't really see their faces that much, but like we're kind of like, we have to do facials, we have to act in character to kind of like show, so I feel like that's why they're so hard, because you have more responsibility of what you have to be doing. You have to be very cautious about how you are presenting yourself with everything, body language, work, drill, facials.
I think I've talked to a few of the band members before, and we kind of like just talked about like who has the harder job here, and they said like if they were to be in our shoes, they would probably have a much more difficult time doing things, because I think it's just like a lot more to be aware of than just playing your instrument and like moving your feet, which it isn't just that, but just in general when you like really break it down. But I think overall, like of all the people that have a role in the marching band, I feel like the drum majors probably have the most difficult job, and they have the highest responsibility keeping tempo for the rest of the band.
Right. Yeah, all you guys are captains now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
How'd you guys get to this position, and then like what are some of your responsibilities as captains?
So in the past, they would have us write an essay and then have like a 5-minute long interview. But this year they did things a little different, where they had a 10-minute long interview. And then also the coaches are always telling us, like, from the day that you join, your audition starts the day that you join marching band. Even like in clinics that before the season even starts, because they want to see how well you can correct yourself, and then also like your demeanor with everybody else and things like that. So the audition process itself was not anything intense. I think it was literally just a 10-minute long interview. But, you know, the coaches and directors are always watching and taking into account, like, everything that you do to see if you're leadership material.
We also have, like, kind of different, like, quote-unquote roles as captains. Like, for example, me, because, like, I've done dance for, like, a very long time, and I'm, like, a pretty experienced dancer. They assign me the role of dance. Like, so basically what I do is I kind of, like, watch the guard, like, in terms of dance, and I kind of, like, critique them in terms of dance. And Adelina's, like, equipment, and Olivia's, like, performance, and just, like being social. In character. Yeah.
So, like, those are, like, you guys, like, use your skills, and you can use, like, your skills from outside, apply them into color guard.
Yeah.
All right, nice. So now, what are some, trying to end on a positive note, what are some fun memories you've made in the color guard? Not really, that doesn't have to be top most fun moment, but, like, fun memories.
My freshman year for Monticello, as a guard, we were in the actual building, like the mess hall, while the band was outside and under a pavilion, and we were kind of joking around, and suddenly it was raining on the band, and I'm looking through the windows, and I'm seeing them get rained on, and then we're inside kind of making a circle talking about how our day's going, and it was just very funny to me.
Yeah, and then I started crying.
And that happened 2 years in a row.
Because it sounded like the whole earth around me, it literally sounded like it was like a tornado outside or something. I was freaked out. It was really scary, genuinely. But, you know, we got through it.
I think for me, it was, like, just, like, meeting some of, like, my, like, best friends in color guard. Like, Adelina and Olivia. I'm, like, super good friends with them. And I feel like...
Aww.
And I feel like I wouldn't, like, be where I am today without color guard, because Danielle originally pressured me to join color guard. Like, I didn't want to join color guard,
yeah.
But I'm really glad that I fell into peer pressure, because I've met, like, some of the best people, and I've, like, learned some of the best skills.
So I take it you don't regret joining color guard?
No, not at all.
Now that you guys are in your final year of color guard, do you think it was worth it all? I know we started off talking about, like, the rough parts, the rough, dirty parts of color guard, and then shifted to, like, some of the more impressive feats you guys have done. But all in all, looking back in retrospect, was it all worth it?
100%. I would do it all again, over and over again, for the rest of my life. I feel like it's just kind of sad that, like, guard during, like, the school time just ends here. Like, I'm never gonna have, well, maybe, I don't know. Well, as of right now, in my future, in the next 2 years, I'm never gonna have a fall season spinning again. But I feel like I've learned a lot, and I've grown so much as a person, and it's genuinely, like, such a fun way to stay active. I've tried other sports, and they never really clicked with me, but doing guard is so diverse, and there's so many things that you can spin with, and there's so many people that you meet. So I just love all of it. Yeah, I have no regrets.
I also have no regrets. I've loved doing it since I learned it. My mom did it, so I'm kind of, like, been raised to do it in a way. But it's just been something that's, like, shaped me as a person, and I've, like, learned so much that I'm going to cry at the end of the season when I stop doing it.
I feel like, for me, like, I 100% do not regret joining guard. And I also feel like color guard, or just, like, marching band in general, like how we talked about how hard it was at the beginning of this podcast, like how rough this season was. Like, Monticello, it's, like, super hot. You got bugs swarming you. There was a rat in one of the cabins.
Oh my gosh, it was a mouse.
There was a mouse in my cabin.
In our cabin, yeah. Ugh.
But I feel like all that just kind of, like, teaches you endurance, and it just, like it shows you how much you can handle.
Yeah.
And, like, how you can, like, find the fun things even in, like, the toughest situations, because color guard is very fun. Marching band is very fun.
All right. Knowing what you have known these past 3 or 4 years, for someone that is considering to join the color guard, what would you tell them?
Do it.
Yeah, definitely try it out. I mean, you can't diss it until you try it, you know? If it doesn't work out your first year, then that makes sense. But there's so much variety in the sport. Like I said earlier, there's the fall season, which is in the fall. Then there's over the summer, which is DCI, and then there's the winter season, which is winter guard. So like if you don't like being outside, winter guard is an indoor sport, and it's literally like it's guard only. So that's pretty cool. And I would also say like definitely do your research. Don't go into it blindly. That's really not good for you. Reach out to your future coaches or captains, and definitely get some basics under your belt, you know? Invest a lot of time, and you're going to have to invest some money too. But I'd say it's worth it.
I'd say 100% join guard. I regret not joining guard my freshman year because I joined my sophomore year. But I feel like it also just, like, got me to see both sides, I guess. Like, I got to see the band perform from the bleachers, and I also got to perform with the band facing the bleachers. You know what I mean? So it was
cool,
like,
yeah.
it was pretty cool for me because, yeah. And also what Adelina was saying about, like, don't go into blindly. So I actually went into it blindly because I kind of just thought, like, oh, like, you know what, like, if I don't like it in the first 2 days, like, I'm just gonna leave. But that obviously was not true, and I stayed
And
for
I'm so happy.
another 2 years. So, yeah.
I also say just do it. Like, it's shaped me in so many ways. It's helped me with a lot of my social anxiety when I had it. And it just, like, it's the best way to be able to be active and, like, learn how to, like, do things. And it just kind of is, like, a stressful, like, you don't have to be, like, the best at it. But as long as you're putting work into it, it helps you so much.
All right. Well, I think that is all the time we have for today. So thank you to Jessica, Adelina, and Olivia for joining us today on the NVTV Podcast. The NVTV Podcast is produced by media students of Neuqua Valley High School. Enjoy the rest of your day.